We're back. Where was I?
Is there a glitch?
Yes, unfortunately. All right.
Care of service building.
Care of the service building. So it helps pay for the utilities, whatever repairs, we need in here. Care of Summers Park, we don't need much down there. We do pay for the porta pot, we pay for less lawn care to kind of control the weeds and things, but other than that, waste management, yes, correct. We do have a dumpster out at Puckett Cemetery, but it's mainly for the trash that accumulates at the park. That way we don't have maggots and things in our garage. They happen already.
Yeah, they go.
So once that happened, we had to get a dumpster and get that trash out there to the cemetery. So that's it for all the line items. The next bit of information that's in these packets, that's the cash flow. One particular item that I would want to bring up to you guys is the assistance fund. So it says at the top, the LGF fund, township assistance. Okay. The 2026 estimated December 31st cash balance is $798,684. $698,684. My concern, if you flip to the next page, that money there is what we would need to last us until mid-June. So if you look at the Poor Relief Fund here, total dispersed from January 1st to June 14th is $831,000, $832,000, I'm rounding up. That's the cash flow concern I have for 2026. If things don't cool down, I would assume we would need to do some kind of interfund transfer, probably from the general fund, to cover those expenses for a week or two until we get the settlements to pay the general fund back. I want to say 607. As of 2026, the estimated December 31st cash balance would be 794,000. That's if you spend everything down. We won't. But that cash balance right there is why our levy is set high. I believe we need to start increasing our cash balance in that assistance fund, which is why we decreased or we turned off the cumulative park fund and we reduced the levy in the park fund itself, so that the assistance fund could get more slice of that pie, Linda talked about.
Yeah.
So
You're focused on that, aren't you?
I do like pie. So we did levy high in that assistance fund to try to bring that cash balance up to a manageable level. You see there the estimated property tax cap loss for that fund is $550,000. Now, that was the estimate before the DLGF got the actual numbers. So the actual numbers, see if I can find the page. The actual number for the tax cap would roughly be right around probably 730,000.
Well, they've also got an issue that they don't know what the property values are going to do. There's some change in that.
Right.
So you've got the issues with the property tax and the value.
Yes.
So that 550 could be more.
Could be. So when if we discuss the levy, that's why it's higher. I would like to see that cash balance get to a manageable level where we won't have to do any kind of interfund transfers or loans to pay back. If it stays hot like it is, I mean, we're looking at cash balance issues every 6 months without building that cash reserves. Township fire, we levy, so we need to spend 80, we levy 50. We will eat into our cash balance a little bit on that one, which is okay. We've got a high enough cash balance to last us a while. While doing that, we can't do it forever, obviously. But Cume Fire, I was telling Linda today, Cume Fire is it's a very small levy. It's just to build up a cash balance for things like fire trucks or equipment, which we don't deal with, but perhaps in the future we need to have some sort of bargaining tool where maybe we could get our contract reduced by purchasing equipment for the fire department. I don't know, but that's what that would be for. Park and Rec, again, we reduced the levy here so that assistants could get more share of that pie. So our cash balance in the Park and Rec fund would reduce by a marginal amount in 2027. Cume Park, again, we turned this off. In order for us to reinstate this, what was it, 2023? We instated the Cume Park Fund with you guys. It's a small levy, but it built up some cash flow over those 3 years. This is for the park and the park only. If we ever want to do another project, buy a small playground, whatever it might be, that could come out of the Cume Park Fund. We did shut that off to give assistants more of the pie. So right now it has $40,010 that will remain in there until we decide to build something 5 years down the road. We might need to. If we ever want to reinstate the Cume Park Fund, we'll have to come to a board meeting. You guys will have to do a resolution reinstating that, and then it would go back to its small levy. The salary resolution, that includes all the employees with the 2% raise. Seems to be working now. Sorry, the stream seems to be going on. Good with that one?
Yep.
The Form 3, that shows our budget, and that shows the levy. And here's what I was talking about. So the Form 3, the property tax credit estimate, shows $747,000. So at the time that we met with the DLGF rep, those figures were not available yet to her. So she used last year's figures in regards to the tax cap credits. So this would be a more likely outcome for 2027's tax cap credits. It's an estimate. You can see budgets, the first, or the column 2, column 3 would be the levy. This next page, I watched last year's meeting and I just kind of took some questions that you guys had and I preemptively put them on paper so that we could answer those questions a little quicker this year instead of bringing out the calculator.
I think we're sitting in a situation where we really don't have definite numbers because of this property tax levy loss that we're gonna have a loss. And when I talked to Jeannie about it, she doesn't really know how bad it's gonna affect.
Right.
And we've also got the issue that housing in general has sort of slowed down on the sales. And the values are coming down a little. So, you know, when we were in a boom situation and the valuation was high, the taxes were high, but I think we're gonna see that drop off a little bit. I think we've also got to think about the fact that state is trying to move us into county. That could be in the next couple of years. So we've got to keep things tight and compact. Because I don't like waving red flags around and drawing attention to township government, you know, in a negative way. Unnecessary spending, you know, we want to be able to defend everything we're spending, money that was taken out of people's paychecks. We want to be able to defend what we did with it. Plus, I've said this forever, statutorily, we need to do what we're supposed to be statutorily doing. And we do. However, over the years, there's been a lot of money that's gone to things that I've screamed about quite a bit, and I don't always get my way. But this list that you sent us, it was only about, as I talked to you about, it's only about 6 or 7 that I think actually fit within the legal parameters of what we're supposed to be doing. I think Park Band is one of them. I think Haynes Apperson is one of them. And the other, and there's several, but the other thing is, and I'm not saying anything negative about all the different things that are going on. They're wonderful. I'm glad people are doing those things. I'm glad they're involved in them, and I know it takes a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort. But I want to keep us on target as much as we can. Because like I said, this is money coming out for this patients. It's not free money. It's not, we've got a pot of money and, hey, what can we spend it on? No, it needs to be what statute says and what we can justify morally with what we're doing. So I don't know how you guys feel, but I've got a list here, Special Olympics, the Samaritan Caregivers, the part that does the groceries, Meals on Wheels, Carver. They do a tremendous amount of positive things for the community. FSA, Gilead House, and Literacy Coalition. And I did, some of them their request, I agreed with their request. Some of them I didn't, I put lower amount. I came up with 73,000, which is less than the 150 or the 180, depending on if you're adding those two. So I'm not sure what you guys think, but I'm saying 5,000 Special Olympics, which is I think what they asked for.
Yeah.
Samaritan caregivers, I said 10,000. The grocery side, not the other one they were talking about. Meals on Wheels, 5, and I think 5 is 5 what they asked for. I don't have that from me.
So in your booklet, there is a 2026 community service contracts,
Okay.
and you can see the 2026 contracted amount and 2027 total requested amount.
Yeah. So, Meals on Wheels, I had 5. Carver, I put 25. FSA, I put 15 because they have a lot of other buildings. Gilead House, I said 5. Literacy Coalition, I said 3. And that came up to 73,000. So and I don't know if you want to continue making the decisions about the amounts and who. We used to do that years ago. And then at some point we said, we're just going to let the trust, we're going to say an amount. And you've got the list of what the requests are. And you can make that decision. I think to a degree, that has not served the trustee well. I think it actually was better when we said an amount and who. And the reason I say that is it puts you in the delicate spot, which is fine. I mean, I know you're up to it, but if we are making the decision and we are saying the amount, then you're just following through and they can't be upset with you about it.
Right.
I mean, I'm okay either way. But I think, as I said a couple years ago and again last year, they are gonna have to start to figure out how else they're gonna get their funding. Because when we merge into county, that's gonna stop. I mean, county will do their funding, but they're not gonna do double. So what they were getting, they get some from cities, some from county, some from township. It's gonna be 2 venues, not 3. So I don't know if you've got any preference on our saying amount versus saying who and how much. I'm open to that. I don't know how you guys feel about that. It's a lot easier on us to say the amount. But I would like to see that 180 go down to 80. That's my feeling.
I would just like to add one thing.
Yeah.
While I, respect the amounts that you want to grant and things, it's ultimately up to you. There was a gentleman's agreement between the county, city, and the township to fund the food desert study a few years ago. This coming year would be, if we paid 15,000, that would have cleared up the total amount that was agreed upon.
I thought we already agreed to that.
Well, we asked for 30 last year sorry.
Out of the budget this year, I thought that was already being paid.
So no, that would have been the last, quarter of it.
Okay.
We would still need to pay 15 more.
Okay.
So I just thought of it.
Yeah.
We're on the last 15,000 of that.
County food access lines.
Well, I think we have to stand by what agreements made.
If I may, if that's okay. Working on the township assistance side for the last 12 years, I have worked with almost all of these community service providers. I understand what you were saying. I see a lot of benefit for a lot of them in our community. I know that funding is an issue for a lot of nonprofits right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we have to float the whole thing, right? I'm not saying that. I just want to say that I do see a lot of benefit to a lot of different programs that these community service providers do provide. And I know you see that too. And I would also like the amount determination to be left with me. I'm okay with handling that. If people don't like it, then I'm okay. I can take the heat. But if that, I would like it to stay with us.
My definition is not that it's not a program that's helpful.
Oh,
Does it fit in that legal definition of why we're created in the first place?
right, I understand what you're saying.
Statutorily.
I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying, yeah. And I wasn't,
Yeah,
Because I personally see some things that they're good, but they're low priority in my book when it comes to, I made my own list too, and mine's a little different than Linda's. But there's some down here that, on my list. I don't think we can afford to do some of this when, housing's going up. I mean, we got we have concerns to help in other areas. And some of the other ones that are on this list don't necessarily benefit the citizens here in Center Township. It does more entertainment-wise or whatever, that's okay, but it's still not a priority on my train of thought here on this.
and I didn't say this, but we're lowering it now because we don't, or I'm wanting to lower it now because we don't know what these costs are gonna be, what that tax thing is gonna do to us. But that doesn't mean we can't look at it later next year and do an additional appropriation if we feel comfortable. Okay, we can go ahead and take a look again at some of this and maybe do an additional appropriation. But with these costs going up like they are, that's pretty dramatic. I don't see it changing in my mind. Do you?
We've been on a year streak of
Yeah,
50,000 or more per month in housing assistance.
yeah, and growing, the number of people that are coming in.
And that's why I feel some of these, that they're very good for, what was it? The Coconut Park Band, there's nothing wrong with that, but what does that actually do to help Center Township citizens with their housing or food or emergencies that others she was talking about, But I'm not saying anything negative about them, but I think the folks here in Center Township their needs should come before some of this. And if there is room for it, then we can look at it, but, I just have my priorities, personal priorities.
It is a priority, and I know funding can be tight, and it's getting tight, but the Coconut Park, I'm just gonna use that for instance. Like you say, a lot pay into the taxes, but a lot never seek township assistance, so the park band is a benefit for all the residents in our township. And I know it's not food or shelter or the basic necessities.
But there's nothing in the statute that says that money is taken out of those paychecks so we can help the park band.
Right, I'm just saying that the ones, for
Right.
instance, that never seek township assistance over the years, but they're paying into it.
Right.
Yes, for the basic necessities, but you look at all of Center Township, the ones who may not be seeking assistance for, what I'll say, the seniors, maybe that's entertainment for the seniors.
But I'm not giving them any less, that they do good for the community. I don't mean it that way.
Right.
But to me, it's not a high priority of some of these, FSA, Carver, to me, they're on the top of the list, in my opinion.
What do you think?
Well, I've always went by the philosophy is money's what you spend and value's what you get. I just want to make sure they have added value for the people who pay the taxes, put their hard-earned money into it. I want to make sure that we're in a position where we're not going to overextend and get caught in any kind of a downturn or any kind of, which we don't want that. That's all bad. But I would like to make sure that we're in the quest of that value to where if we did have to come back later for an additional appropriation, the money's there for that additional appropriation. I know, you hear your power bills going up because of data centers. You hear the water bills going up, the price of gas, things are definitely going up. We are in a financial squeeze because everybody is. Go to the grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I used to couldn't hardly pick up 100 bags of groceries. Now look at me. I look like Charles Howell. You're getting less for more. And I get what both these board members are saying about count the cost. And let's not overextend. And I would not be opposed to visiting again for additional appropriation on some of these because they do wonderful work. I get that. And non-for-profits are one of the first things to really get squeezed hard in any kind of a downturn or any kind of a increase in cost, in which we all know the cost of living is going up.
And their own cost is going up too.
Oh, yeah, their costs are going up too.
What they do.
And the number of people needing them is going up. You know that from where you're at, and the people who need them need us. Because for some people, we're that lifeline that needs to stand strong and be intact.
Well, if we take my 80 and we add your 15, what do you think about that being what we're doing this time on that rather than the 180?
And you're going off the list you had.
Pardon?
You, off the list you had.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I have pretty much some of the
based on
same,
that, but letting her make the decision.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Going ahead and still leaving it in your hands, but you got X amount of dollars. And you're comfortable with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this including Carver, the 95,
Yeah.
including the
Well,
park and rec? Because-
Yeah, right, the 95 includes Carver,
So what did you want to get to Carver? You said,
25.
okay.
I said Special Olympics 5, Samaritan caregivers.
So you're saying 70,000 minus the 15 that were due for the Howard County Food Access Alliance. So would that be
What do
5,500?
you mean minus 15?
The 15 that I said we owed for the food desert study?
No, I'm adding that.
Right.
I'm saying 80, what my total came up to was 73. But I'm saying 80, I'm rounding that up.
Because I had 80.
And then I'm adding 15 that he's talking about
Mhm.
and saying it's 95 instead of 180. So if you want to put the 25 that I'm saying Carver in that different,
Right. That's what I was saying. So altogether 95, right?
all
Including the
together.
15. So we subtract the 25 because that comes out of park and rec.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can put
Then
it in
we-
two pots, but it totals 95.
Right. So then you subtract the 15 that's due to the Howard County Food Access Alliance. You're left with 55,000
Oh, I see what you're saying.
to go amongst the rest.
I see what you're saying. 25 into Carver, 15 into that, and what's left goes into the,
55,000 for the rest of the nonprofits.
I mean, we had to tighten the belt.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
are you guys in agreement with that number?
I am.
Fine, then we can revisit.
Yeah. Because we're trying to make decisions about all the information at this point.
So that would be 25 in park and rec, that'd be 70 in general fund, community service contracts.
And takes care of the 15.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because
Desert.
that was agreed to, so that should be taken care of.
Right.
But the total is 95.
Correct.
Okay, so what else? That leaves us raises to discuss.
We wanted to put in your packets some more information about what our caseworkers have been doing, just so you guys can see the numbers that are coming in our office, what type of assistance we're seeing. You know, it even is breaking it down for our approval rate, our denial percentage, how many cases we're seeing a month, like in July, we're seeing 184. Also gave you some info on our food pantry. That is definitely helping with taking food from there. We're not spending as much township assistance on food, but, you know, it helps supplement. There is also a statewide, the TA7 information here about kind of where we are among the states. So as far as assistance goes and requests, we're number 8 in the state as far as what we're issuing and clients coming in. We just wanted you to have all that information. With us asking for the 2% raises for the employees, I wanted you to physically see what type of work they are doing, their workload.
Could I also add that the TA7 report, this is kind of rushed over sometimes. You know, last year we did 691,000 in assistance, but what the public usually doesn't see is the 721,000 that was not spent by township funds because it was referred out. Now, Alicia would probably have more information on what programs, you know, the assistance gets referred out to, but that's all money not spent because our caseworkers are doing hard casework, connecting clients to resources.
And we're not only just giving them a referral slip. A lot of the times we are filling out the applications. We are providing the supporting documents for them to qualify for these programs, like energy assistance, like applying for housing. We're helping people apply for food stamps if they ask for it. So we help them apply, we help them provide the supporting documentation, and we even do a lot of follow-up with the other agencies. So we can all coordinate together. Well, Energy as Assistance is helping with $500. Okay, well that means we only have to do maybe $200. You know, I'm just giving you an example, but that referral, it says a number, but it really is a lot of work on our caseworkers when they're helping with those referrals. They use, you know, we have these little slips, but it's more than that.
And way out to the right, I couldn't fit it on the page. Way out to the right, it talks about food assistance, non-township fund food assistance. You know, we have the food pantry. We do we gather food every March, April. We do the food drive.
March is our
Food drive, annual food drive. We did almost 100,000 in food out of that food pantry last year. That's all on the food drive and donated funds. That's $0 out of township funds.
Is it in some truck, did they come in?
Food finders.
Yeah.
And Midwest Food Bank also dropped us off some food for free.
Yeah, that was for our expo that we had.
Awesome, especially with the cost of everything.
Okay, new business.
Are we set on the 2%?
Okay. Well, that's right, we still gotta go back to the salaries.
Here it is, it's this. That's the page 7.
Yeah.
After page 7.
Well, I'm gonna do my normal proposal of a $1,000 bonus versus a raise.
I don't think $1,000 would be doable, given that we put 2% onto the budget line items. The lowest we'd probably be able to give is 800. or the highest we'd be able to give is 800 on.
Why?
So we've only budgeted for example, $40,800 per caseworker. We cannot go above $40,800 per caseworker, right? So it could only go, we can't do $1,000.
But that includes, that 40,000 that you put on there is including the 2% raise.
Correct.
Right.
But we cannot go over that amount.
But I'm saying, instead of a raise, $8,000 raise.
We didn't budget for it. Well, we didn't budget high enough for that.
See, I see what you're saying.
An $800 raise would be doable, $1,000 would not. Because we didn't advertise enough to cover $1,000 per person.
To cover 1,000.
Some may, but
So the raise was gonna be quite a bit less.
it would have been, at $40,000, that would have been $800 on the year.
Okay,
And that would help,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
yes.
See what I just did?
So you don't
It
want
would.
to have more?
Well, if I could, I would, but really, that's to offset the increase in insurance every paycheck.
That's what the raise would be, 2%, if you're $40,000.
I see that now, instead of less than that.
But then you're adding on to it next
As far as work and
year.
Social Security, you know. It's not very easy.
Yeah.
Do you see it from here?
Oh,
Do that.
Erase that.
That's what the perfect.
No, I'm not concerned about.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. What you want me to do that now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be for the higher salary, because the lower salary wasn't that high. Yeah,
105.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, whatever you guys.
Two,
you want to do.
two. That's what you advertised.
Yes. That's to help offset the rise in the increase in insurance premiums. I mean, I think it was a big 10% increase last year,
Right.
and then another 3% this year. I would assume it's probably just gonna keep going up.
Nope. It's gonna keep going. That's back to the conversation we had a while ago about oil and gas and water. It's gonna keep going up. I would say,
I can do that.
I like 2%. Yeah, 2%.
So
Thank you.
those are all the budget issues, right?
Should be, unless you guys have any other questions about the budget.
I don't.
Okay.
So total amount, we make decisions on it.
Right, you're good, that 95,000, you didn't make the decision.
Yeah.
On who gets what, is what you're saying, yes.
We may revisit it next year when we have more information about what tax. money
Where we are.
actually are getting, what the cap is, how that's going to affect us. Whether or not this housing is continuing to be high, I'm sure it will. But maybe not. If things are going the way they're going, we've got to make sure we've got the money to help.
Mhm.
So
Because rent is
not-
high. some places.
Do we want to address the grant? Or do we want to think about that more?
We could definitely make a decision. Do you want to make a decision now?
Personally, I think I'm negative on
Me too.
it.
We've got
What do you
enough
think?
on our plate too.
What do you think?
On the grant,
Yeah.
how much was it? Was it
185, 90, what was the?
Are you talking about the PSH grant?
Yeah.
I think total it was a 195, like over the two
Well,
ish.
It's around between, I'm gonna say between 157 and 195, I don't know the exact amount.
And right now there are 3 people on that program.
I think I'd like to decline.
I think that we should take on anything else.
It's a county grant. For all
Yes,
of
and
Howard
it
County.
is
It
actually,
actually covers more than one county. So we had that, there was information before that there were some people that were not in this county.
Yeah, they weren't living in our county.
not since I've been involved with it, they've all been within Howard County and Center Township. And I've been dealing with this since August, September of last year.
Not just Center Township, but county. It's been.
Yes, but as of right now, all of those recipients are in Center Township.
Right now.
Yes.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I mean, if it's a worry of, can we handle the work? We can handle the work.
Oh, it's not the workload I was talking about.
Okay.
It's just we have enough on our plate with all the other stuff too, that we're already doing, hand in hand kind of with.
Can I say something? If this money leaves Center Township in Howard County, that is something that we're potentially going to have to absorb.
As far
Because
as
these
housing
people are gonna have to
assistance.
Qualify. So then you're talking about raising another $157,000, adding that to our already responsibilities. When this is, but if the client comes in, it is our responsibility.
Let's table it, see if we can get
Yeah, let's,
more information.
What kind of information would you like me to get?
I just don't think we know how we feel about it yet.
That's one thing, and another thing about a federal grant. What kind of paperwork, red tape and everything are they gonna expect from us? In other words, like, they're gonna give you a criteria of how it has to be spent, and it has to be spent that way. My deal is, let's say that person lives in another township that they want to help. And we're using Center Township grant money for that. Is that going to get us in any kind of a situation where,
So that's one of the things that we can, work with the other townships with. We, like Center Township can leverage our money, we can pay the rent, and the IHCDA grant would pay us back. We could go out and reach out to the other townships and say, hey, this person needs help with money, can you pay this rent? And then that gets reimbursed.
well, what about this court issue that you were talking about, Pam? I mean, what if we don't even know, what's going on there, and if we just don't know?
We don't, and I guess I would say to you, excuse me, my sense is that you are going to, Center Township, being the largest township, is going to end up paying these bills with no opportunity for reimbursement if you don't do it. If you do it, you have an opportunity to be reimbursed until June 30th of 2027. At the end of June 2027, I have no idea what's going to happen, and neither does anybody else. But at least in the interim, you have helped the people who are at your door today who are gonna be homeless tomorrow if this is not available. I don't wanna be dramatic here, but that is a very real possibility. Again, I think in terms of paperwork, excuse me, you have a system in place that already aligns. So it is a federal grant, but it comes down from the state, okay? So there's a layer between you and the feds. You're not doing this, you are doing a federal grant, but you're doing it through a state entity. You have the systems in place, you have the paperwork in place, you have the knowledge. It's documentation. You flow it up into the state system. There's a system called HMIS, Homeless Management Information System. You document through this system. It is a system that is provided through Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority. Excuse me. And you document name, person, all of the vital information, the case notes, what you did, how you did it, the time you spent, all of those things. And that creates a report that goes up to the state for reimbursement, okay?
Is CAM currently doing this?
No, CAM is not currently.
So why are they not on the street now?
That's why there's only 3 people, because currently there's another entity
That took on
that took on those 3 people.
Who?
Advantage Housing.
Who?
Advantage Housing.
Dale.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, Dale has not been able to have a desire to, I don't know, to serve Howard County instead of playing that job in Wabash County. I don't know all of the
So
ins and
CAM
outs of
is
that,
completely out of it.
of Howard County. And he graciously took this to keep these people housed, but didn't take it, but he's helping to keep these people housed.
Well,
So I would say to you, I wouldn't worry about the paperwork. And I guess my other comment to you would be the money that you are spending in rental assistance and housing help, those kinds of things. And I don't know your system 100%. I know about this much to be dangerous, but you have that first touch with the person and you say, okay, we're going to help you. And then they come back the second time, the third time, the fourth, because it takes a lot of visits to get there. Those are the things that you can claim on this grant is it's every touch that you have with that same person. So I understand your hesitation. Money is tight. I get it. But it is also an extension of what you currently do.
Okay, but I was under the impression that nobody else wants to take it on, and we're the last one.
Right.
Well, why is that? And why, I mean, if it's a county thing, why is Center Township challenged to take it and not Howard County?
So I would say to you this, I can't speak for the commissioners, I can't speak for, Howard County doesn't do housing. We don't, that's not statutorily something the county government.
They could here, I mean, they could establish it,
they do grants, they do
yeah,
federal
they
grants.
do. But, I mean, they're not gonna do it right, but
Well, then we have to hire caseworkers and, where do you pay a caseworker? I mean, again, now you're talking state board of accounts and all of those things. We have to have a list, we would have to have a list of landlords and an ability to pay it. You work for the county. You work for the county. County government moves slow. We are not gonna be able to write a check to a landlord quickly and say, here, we're gonna keep you housed. It's gonna take 45 days to get a check out of the government. I mean, and that's not a criticism of anybody, it's just unfortunately how the claim system works.
just, because I know it's gotta go in front of the county council and everything, but, I just don't, like, I don't feel warm and fuzzy because nobody else wanted it, now it's on our shoulders.
I think
To
the
make a
reason
decision.
it came here is because we're already doing it. We do it every day. And I think that that's why, I mean, we got involved in this conversation because we had these clients coming into our office saying, our rent's not getting paid. What do we do? So then, once we started getting involved, that's when Connie and I noticed, well, they're on this PSH grant, their rent's not being paid. So I think the reason it's coming to us is we're doing it already. And I think we honestly are the best fit for this grant, if it's something you guys do allow us to do, because we do it every day. And it's not anything different than what we are doing, maybe a little bit more paperwork, but I mean, we already have a whole file on a lot of the people that are on the PSH grant. We've done a lot of the legwork already. I mean, we started doing case management with them, applying for food stamps for them, making sure they're on this, making sure they're on that before we even had the conversation about us taking over the grant, just because we wanted to make sure they're getting all the resources they needed, you know?
How
So-
long has it been since Tam was actually doing that, all that, instead of you guys?
Well, these clients came to us just because their rent wasn't getting paid, and we have relationships with landlords. So the landlords called and were like, hey, we have this.
Why wasn't it being paid?
I can't answer that. I'm not Cam. I don't know.
So Cam has not been fulfilling their end of it for a while now, evidently, if you've been paying the rent.
We paid some rent. We did not pay everyone's rent, I don't think, but we started doing case management. Then Dale got involved. Am I speaking correctly on that, Connie?
We paid rent for a few clients to keep them in because Kia was trying to get it all sorted
Yeah.
out, see what they could pay. And I was trying to make sure the township didn't pay something needlessly for something that they should have already been receiving. So we were working closely with them and the landlords to make sure the clients did not become homeless
Now,
and
there's
negotiating with them.
not, you mentioned State Board of Accounts. With where they were in this grant, as far as you know, is everything cool? I guess is the way to put it.
So I would say to you that my conversation today, I spoke to Indiana Housing Community Development Authority, Director of Community Services. She is, she is at a level to make a decision. She doesn't want Howard County to lose this opportunity. Because again, it impacts potentially 12 to 15 people. It was a hard fought process to get this grant, and they don't really want to see it lost. They don't want to see it absorbed down in Evansville or, some of the other places that have massive amounts of housing. We have so little subsidized through this type of grant housing. I'm not talking about the housing authority, I'm not talking about anything else, I'm just talking about permanent supported housing opportunities. We have so few, and we have such a great need. Our homeless list right now, I don't know where it stands, but probably 125 people maybe. And that's a lot of people that qualify in for a homeless program. The other thing I would say to you is, this is not about nobody else will take it and we're the last resort. This was about who amongst the ones who have capacity and understanding. Because again, you pick somebody who doesn't have understanding and you get the mess. So if
Is that what happened with Cam?
I'm not
Yeah,
going
you're
to
not
say
gonna-
that,
I understand.
that's not my story to tell. But I would say to you that people who have the capacity, the understanding, the know-how to do this, like you currently do, there's you, and that's about it. It just is at this time. Family Service already runs a PSH program. I don't want you to look at it as you're the last resort, you're the best fit.
What about Kokomo Housing Authority?
I don't believe the Kokomo Housing Authority is allowed to do that. I don't know that, Tanya, that would be, that is it. I don't know.
We have some, I mean, obviously, we use our money, but, I can't speak to this particular grant. I know there were other grant opportunities that we were looking at. I'm not sure.
I gotta look
don't
into
know.
more things because it was kind of, I understood that it was kind of, well, we're the last ones that nobody else wanted it. And that was actually words spoken that nobody else wanted to take it on, so.
I think we're gonna table this. Wheels are turning.
I just want to say one more thing. If you need anything else from me or you need any information from IHCA, I would be happy to reach out to get that from you. Most of you know how to reach me. Please feel free to reach out and I will be happy to get whatever I can for you.
Pam, what is the deadline to choose?
So, June,
It's already passed.
it really is. I mean, this is they're trying to keep these people housed. They really want, I think it was June 30th, July
That's when it
1
ended.
is when it.
Let me-
For the next year.
Let me collect some information from the SBOA to see how operationally that would work. Check with other townships that may be in the PSH program, and I will get you guys all the information I can on how that would operationally be a fit for our program. If that works for you.
I'm good with that.
Do you have any new business?
We are going to do the additional appropriation meeting on November 12th. So we just wanted to make sure that you guys, for housing for township systems quarterly. Yep, it'll be the November 12th because we will already have our township assistance quarterly paid out for October before we have that meeting. So Anthony will be able to have the right numbers, so it should all fit.
Okay.
And then we're also doing, November 12th will be the meeting.
I should have an approximate exact amount that we'll need to pay in December for November's purchase orders.
Okay, but our next meeting is September 10th.
Correct, yeah. We just wanted you to know which meeting we were gonna do the additional appropriation.
We also, go ahead.
No, you go.
We also have the roads fund transfer that we'll plan to do on November 12th. That's from the capital improvement plan that we did last year. $73,680 from the general fund will be transferred to the roads fund under resolution from you guys.
Second to last page in your packet. This is just some legislation that is affecting townships. So the SEA 270, the township merger bill, Center Township does not qualify for mandatory merger with another township. Per our ITA provided scorecard, we will be getting the official DLGF scorecard later this year. There are delays in the CIP certification, so until 2028. And then the lit overhaul, this kind of explains as to what is going on with that. Anthony, do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. The legislation, essentially we'll have to we'll make a resolution to request lit from the county. We'll need to do that by July 1st every year, starting in 2028. I would recommend that we probably start doing that at the very beginning of the year, preparing that and getting it to them as soon as possible. So that'll start in 2028. The local income taxes would begin being collected in 2029 and paid out in 2030. If they allow us lit, which I hope they do.
The last thing on this paper, starting in 2027, the SBOA is going to start tracking training for trustees that are elected. It's been required since 2023, but starting in 2027, it sounds like there's going to be more tracking of it, I guess. Make sure you're doing it. Yeah. So this kind of breaks it down as to what's going on as far as what the trustee has to have, okay? The last thing in your packet, as far as new business goes, I wanted you guys to be aware that I received this request from the Gilead House last Friday. I reached out to Mayor Moore and Commissioner Dodd. I met with them earlier this week, and had a conversation as to this request that I received. Tomorrow, we are having another meeting, the mayor and Commissioner Dodd, as well as the Gilead House, and anyone they are wanting to bring as far as their accountant and any board members, to have a discussion as to, you know, what's going on with this request. A few more follow-up questions with it. I just wanted to be transparent that this came across my desk on Friday, so you guys knew what's going on. But they're needing some emergency funding to help make their payroll, due to waiting on insurance reimbursements. So, but I have some more follow-up questions with them tomorrow when I meet with them. Okay?
Okay. The old business.
That was the
Yeah,
PSH.
that was the PSH, so, the park. The park, everything's done at the park, but I think Anthony's already touched on that.
Right.
Yeah, so we're good there.
Motion that we adjourn. Second, yes.
Very good.
I think.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?